To call to order the East Hempfield Township Board of Supervisors meeting. Tonight's meeting has been advertised to be held in person and online using Zoom with login column in information posted on our website. Tonight's video and audio is being recorded. For tonight's meeting, Robert's rules will still apply, and the meeting will be run by the chairman, who will be assisted by an employee managing the Zoom site. During the meeting, in order to offer comment, you must be recognized by the chairman. And online to offer comment, the rules posted online will apply. You must be a resident or business owner of the township to speak. You must identify yourself by name and address before speaking and sign the guest log for meeting minute purposes, or follow the chat procedure previously discussed. Comment is limited to 3 minutes and must be about the agenda item being discussed, with the exception of public comment for non-agenda items. No action will be taken on a non-agenda item of a non-emergency nature during the public comment period for non-agenda items. All comments should be directed towards the board. And now I would ask that you would join me for our first agenda item and rise for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. And now the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Up next, we have item number 2, a rezoning hearing, TLK Partners. Request to rezone 200 Running Pump Road from low-density residential to enterprise. Ordinance 2025-05.
Good evening. My name is Mike Davis from Barley Snyder. I'm here on behalf of the applicant this evening, TLK Partners, Inc. I have along with me a representative from TLK, George Zink. Also along with me is Steve Gergley from Harbor Engineering. Just want to give you a quick roadmap for our presentation tonight. I will briefly detail the specific rezoning relief being sought and why. Steve will then take you through details on proposed improvements to the property and how the proposed rezoning relates to those improvements. And we'll do that through the site map that was provided with the application, along with an additional site map that we'll put up on the screen for you. Once Steve is done, I will then briefly walk you through the legal justifications for the requested rezoning. And after that, the project team will be glad to answer any questions that the board might have. As I indicated, the petitioner is seeking to rezone its property located at 200 Running Pump Road from low-density residential zone to enterprise zone. The property is approximately 6.5 acres and is located within the township's urban growth boundary. The property is the home of RCW Athletic Club. The club provides a number of different racket opportunities, including tennis, pickleball, and padel. This racket's use of the property was established at the site back in 1971. The current use is a pre-existing non-conforming use of the property for zoning purposes. The petitioner is proposing to expand its current operations at the property with a building addition to its current indoor facility, a retractable roof for its padel courts, and some additional parking. The proposed rezoning is more consistent with the historic and ongoing use of the property and allows the proposed expansion of the existing use to occur without the need for zoning variances from the Township Zoning Hearing Board. And with that brief background, I'm going to ask Steve to walk you through a couple different exhibits.
Thank you. Could you pull up the zoning map exhibit, please? It was included.
Give me a minute. This is all Nate gave me.
Okay.
You want the zoning maps, do you?
Yeah, it was part of the petition that we had submitted.
Page 12.
That'll work. You can zoom in to our site, which is, yeah,
Yeah, I'll get you there, yeah.
so the property, as Mr. David just mentioned, is low-density residential from Running Pump Road. It's a long, narrow property, 6.5 acres in size. So I think that map may be updated for what we're requesting, but the property is to the north there. It's a long, narrow property. It's shown in blue as enterprise, but that's what we're requesting to be rezoned. So the properties to the north are currently in the enterprise zoning district, and the properties to the south and to the west are low-density residential containing single-family dwellings. The property to the southeast across Running Pump Road is also enterprise, and then there's a triangular piece, which I believe the township owns, which is also zoned low-density residential, but that's primarily in the floodplain and is really not a developable property. So our request is to rezone, as Mr. Davis had mentioned, that property that Diane's cursing over there to enterprise to match the properties to the north. And if you could go back to the sketch plan, please. And the proposed improvements, the reason for the rezoning request is so that the applicant can further develop the property in conformance with the zoning ordinance. So by zoning the property to enterprise, the use is permitted by right as far as the expansion goes. It would match the zoning ordinance requirements for building height and maximum lot coverage. So the idea would be to expand the building to the east, to have additional indoor court areas for pickleball, also to place a roof over the padel courts. We had come in with a stormwater plan for that, I think earlier in the year, but this would allow for the height associated with the retractable roof over the padel courts as well. And then it also would allow for additional parking to serve the use, both the existing use and the expanded use within the confines of the zoning ordinance with respect to lot coverage and other items.
I mentioned this proposed rezoning, I mean, it would facilitate what's being proposed, I mean, so basically variances would not be restored from zoning green board.
Correct.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
And also with regard to the current zoning and kind of the shape and configuration of the existing lot, is that lot really conducive to being developed underneath of that existing zoning classification?
No, and even assuming that none of these existing non-conforming uses were not there, the property is very long. It's like 1,300 feet long. It really wouldn't lend itself to the low-density residential zoning district. It would be a cul-de-sac of like a pretty extreme length. You would only be able to front homes and properties on one side, and it really wouldn't be an efficient use of that land for residential uses.
And then briefly, I just want to go through the specific legal justifications for the rezoning. First off, the rezoning is consistent with the longstanding historic use of the property as a tennis athletic club. And again, that use was established back in 1971. It is a logical extension of the enterprise zone zoning district, as the entire northern boundary of the property currently abuts property that is zoned enterprise zone. As Steve had mentioned, the configuration of the property, which is long and narrow, is not conducive to development and use in strict conformity with the existing RL zone zoning. And the proposed use is consistent with goals set forth in the East Hempfield Township Comprehensive Plan, and specifically their goal LU4, which calls to allow for maximum build-out of developable land within the township's urban growth boundary. I would also point out that map number 7 of the township plan, detailing current uses and future uses, shows the property's use as recreational, not as residential. The proposed rezoning also aligns with the goals of the Lancaster County Comprehensive Plan Places 2040, in that the proposed rezoning furthers the goals of urban growth areas by promoting reinvestment and through rehab and infill development. It also aligns with the goals of the county plan for urban places and urban growth areas because it allows for the efficient use of land. The proposed rezoning will promote enhancement and infill development within the township, which is consistent with both the township plan and the county plan. The proposed rezoning is not detrimental to the public health, safety, or welfare. I would also point out that representatives of the petitioner met with the township staff on July 8th to discuss the proposed rezoning. And at that meeting, township staff encouraged the petitioner to submit the petition to rezone. And I would also note that at its September 10th, 2025 meeting, the Township Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval of the rezoning request. And with that, we're happy to answer any questions that the board may have.
Okay. Anything?
No.
I have no questions. Seems to be a project that conforms to the existing or is conducive to the existing zoning conditions in the area, and don't see an issue.
I just wanted to emphasize you did get approval from the Planning Commission, correct? And the County Planning Commission?
The County Planning Commission, as I understand it, has it on its agenda for the 10th of this month. So
Okay.
the county has not made a formal recommendation at this point.
Okay. Any questions from the audience? Okay. Any from Zoom?
No, but do remember Mr. Brubaker is on Zoom.
Mr. Brubaker, did you have any questions?
No, thank you.
Then we will close the hearing at 7:12 PM. Okay, and we have the option right now of acting on this request. What's the consensus of the board? I'm fine with this.
Likewise.
Yes. Okay. Is there a motion to adopt ordinance 2025-05 authorizing the rezoning of 200 Running Pump Road from low-density residential to enterprise?
So moved.
Okay, motion for Mr. Bennett. Is there a second?
Second.
A second for Mr. Johnson. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, motion carries 5-0. Thank you and good luck. Up next, we have our consent agenda. These are routine items that typically require very little discussion or debate. Are there any comments or questions from the board on the consent agenda? Okay. Mr. Brubaker, any?
Are you talking A, B, and C?
Yes.
I'll be abstaining from B because of
Okay.
the MVE invoice.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Okay. Hearing none, is there a motion to approve items A and C as presented?
So moved.
Motion for Mr. Bennett. Is there a second?
Second.
A second for Mr. Johnson. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Is there a motion to accept item B on the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
A motion for Mr. Bennett. Is there a second?
Second.
A second for Mr. Johnson. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Motion carries 4-0 with one abstention. Thank you. And up next, we have action items, local share account resolution 2025-26 to submit grant for police tasers.
So the local services, local share account grant is coming up. The chief has submitted a request to submit an application for $42,795.20 for tasers for the department. I'll let you explain how old they are, and it's kind of obvious what you're getting, but.
Sure. Our tasers range anywhere from all but 12 to 15 years old. Technology has changed. So we would like to upgrade our fleet of 15 tasers in 2027. So we're applying for the funds to purchase. This would purchase the hardware, the tasers themselves, we would be signing a contract that would have some annual subscription costs, but the grant would at least cover the first year for the hardware and the software.
I have no concerns or questions with this. Anybody on the board?
Just one comment. My name's on here as chairman. We want to make sure Scott's.
It's been
Listen.
changed. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Are these all, will these replace all of the tasers? In other words,
Yeah, our current TASER, some of the pieces are no longer available, and TASER is not going to be supporting them in the next couple years. Technology has changed. This is by far one of our most relied upon, less lethal force options. So sticking with TASER, they're pretty much the only maker of this product. And again, ours are 12 to 15 years old, and new versions have come about. We'll get rid of our current flock of 15 when we get these.
okay, so does each officer own a taser or?
No,
you
we share,
that?
we share a plot of 15 of them, so they're not assigned to the individual officers. When an officer comes on duty, you pull one of the tasers.
Thank you.
Mr. Bruger, did you have any questions?
No, that answered one of my questions. So thanks, Mr. Johnson.
Anybody else from the board? Okay. Anyone from the audience on this? Okay. Any on Zoom? Okay. Hearing none, is there a motion to approve Resolution 2025-26 to submit a local share account for police tasers in the amount of $42,795.20?
So moved.
Okay, a motion for Mr. Russell. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, second for Mr. Brubaker. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Up next, we have the shared use path agreement with the Blue-Green Corridor Project for PennDOT right-of-way use agreement, Resolution 2025-27.
So this is another link in the Blue-Green Corridor Trail Project. This was discussed by the Board of Supervisors. It's the trail portion that goes along Farmingdale Road and then goes around the back of the PennDOT basin and then underneath the culvert over Route 30, then resurfacing over on West Roseville Road. And the shared use agreement and then the maintenance agreements essentially with Blue Green is what is necessary to allow that to happen.
Any questions or comments from the board? Mr. Brubaker?
None.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the audience on this? Any from Zoom? Okay. Hearing none, is there a motion to adopt Resolution 2027 agreeing to enter into a share use path agreement for the use of PennDOT right-of-way in conjunction with the Little Conestoga Creek Foundation Blue-Green Corridor?
So moved.
Okay, motion by Mr. Bennett. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Mr. Johnson. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries 5-0. Is there a motion to enter into an agreement with the Little Conestoga Creek Foundation which outlines the use of the PennDOT shared path agreement regarding creation, maintenance, and liability?
So moved.
Okay, motion for Mr. Bennett. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, second for Mr. Johnson. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Up next, we have the 2026 budget, proposed budget. Mrs. Schweitzer.
Yeah. So in the course of adopting a proposed budget for 2026, the board has had at least 2 meetings, one as recently as this evening, to discuss the line item budget, but more particularly the long-term budgeting that we do. And we realize that we have to budget for 2 years because next 2027 is an assessment year. and the township cannot raise or increase their revenue that year more than 10%. So in looking at that and looking at the long range, the board feels at this point to adopt a proposed budget that shows and reflects a reflects a 0.5 mil increase in taxes. This will, if it's adopted, this will allow the board to, for staff to advertise the proposed budget for 20 days and have further discussion and look at the budget and possibly make that 0.5 lower.
Okay, and I would add to that, that we've had a long-standing item on our agenda under old business about the rising costs of fire services that's going to impact future budgets. And we just wanted to make residents aware that this was coming. We've done so for a long time. And I would say that we've battled back and forth on what the proper amount should be. The bottom line is our fire services costs are rising to the point that we cannot continue to function without raising taxes. In addition, the 0.5 mils does not make up the full funding for the fire services, which is at 0.55 currently. So wanted to make that plain and clear to everyone, you know, what the main cost driver is here, what we're trying to do. We're trying to be good stewards. We're trying to not leave a future board next year in a bad situation. And that's the reason for the increase. And with that, I'm going to turn it over. Are there any comments or questions from any of the board? Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, just to add on what Mr. Wigglesworth said, yeah, there were a lot of discussions on this, and I think there's a lot of credit to be given to past boards to be able to manage everything, all the expenses, and not raise taxes for a long time. And just to give people the perspective that a $200,000 assessment of a house, what we're talking about, an increase of a $500,000 is $100 per year. So I think given all the needs of the community and to keep the high standards we have, I was comfortable with the the $500,000 increase.
Mr. Bennett.
My only comment would be is that over the last 10 or 12 years, the board has really worked hard to keep expenses down, be frugal with the taxpayers' money, and at the same time provide the community a space and a place to raise their family, build a business, and we've done a good job, I think. And not to pat ourselves on the back, but the other thing I would say is that, well, I'll just leave it at that for now. Thank you.
Mr. Russell.
I have nothing to add.
Okay. Mr. Brubaker.
Yeah, I just echo what Mr. Johnson's comments. Additionally, just appreciate the professional and sincere dialogue back and forth between board members, with just addressing the real issues and trying to work through a number of different scenarios of how we might tackle those. So I just the process I thought was very good. I thought staff did a great job of outlining the budgets in a couple different ways for us. Appreciate that. Made it very much easier to make some decisions given the amount of information that we were given by staff and how it was compiled. So I just wanted to mention that. I appreciate that.
My last comments on this is going to be that I view this, our stewardship of these funds as your money, and I take it very seriously. I was hoping to get through my career without raising taxes, Fortunately, I am 1 year too late. The last time that we raised taxes was 2008. And the number one issue that we are tasked with is public safety, and that is the number one cost driver in this budget and the main reason for the tax increase. Do we have any questions or comments from the audience on this? Okay. Hearing none. Any from Zoom?
Yes.
Okay.
Susan Lloyd, you can unmute and address the board.
Yes, I just wanted to make a quick comment in regards to the fire chief, John Kottmeyer. I think he's amazing. When I first purchased my house, he came to my house right away to check out a serious issue that I had with my chimney. If it wasn't fixed, my house actually would have caught on fire and burned down. So if there's anything as a community, I live on Stanley and Landisville. If there's anything as a community like that we can do as a homeowner to somehow fundraise for the fire department. I don't know if there's anything like that that occurs. I would absolutely do anything to help out Mr. Kottmeyer.
So I think staff has your name and information correct. I know the fire department looks for all types of volunteers, not just people that put out fires, but they need administrative help. That includes fundraising, bookkeeping, record keeping, all that kind of good stuff. And I'm sure if you are willing, they will be willing to put you to work. So count on being contacted in the future. Is there any other comments or from Zoom? Okay. Well, hearing none then, is there a motion to advertise the proposed budget which reflects a 0.5 millage increase, raising total township millage to 1.51 mils?
So moved.
Okay, motion for Mr. Russell. Is there a second?
Second.
I think I have 3 people here, so,
We're all part of it.
okay. I'm going to give that one to Mr. Bennett. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries 5-0. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, may I ask, was there a misstatement in there? Was it, did you say an addition of 0.25 or did you say 0.5? I'm sorry if I missed that.
Yeah, the motion reflects a 0.5 millage increase, raising the total millage to 1.51. That was the motion.
Okay, thank you. I thought I had heard a different number, but that's exactly what I thought it said. So thank you for clarifying that.
Great. Okay. Moving on to old business. We just really discussed the fire and emergency services costs. Is there anything else to add to that? And if there's none, my recommendation is that we take this off of the agenda for old business from now on. Is the board okay with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So that'll be removed from old business. And then next we have the 250th anniversary of the United States. And again, we're looking for thoughts and ideas for that celebration, looking to put committees together and get volunteers organized for our 250th anniversary. Any thoughts, comments on that item?
Not tonight.
Okay. Any from the audience? Any from Zoom? Okay. Any new business tonight? Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on to our public comment section. I understand we have is that the only request we had was from?
That's correct.
Okay, is there any other public comment this evening? Here in the audience, any from Zoom? Any other comments from Zoom?
Susan Lloyd, you can unmute and address the board.
Yeah, so I'm trying to see if there's anything that you guys can do to intervene. I know like a lot of townships in Pennsylvania and actually entire counties have banned the use of pesticides because of the harmful effects. I'm suffering severe health problems because of it. Like I'm having respiratory difficulties. My throat feels like someone poured acid down it. I put something out on Nextdoor to see if other people feel the same way, and I've actually received a ton of support. Some lady actually lost her service dog. I'm not sure if it's the same company that, I'm being affected by or not, but it just gained like a lot of interest. So I'm not sure if there's something that you can do to intervene, if there's somewhere you could point me to see what could be done. I try to work it out with the company that I'm having issues with, and I ask them, just to basically avoid like 500 feet from my house, which is what the because I'm on a Pennsylvania hypersensitivity list, but they're not willing to do it, and they're coming a lot, like up to 3, sometimes 4 times a week, and spraying this stuff that's known, to be not only carcinogenic, but some of them have like level 4, which is the most highest toxicity. They're known to cause seizures, respiratory issues, all these, acute and chronic long-term health issues. And I just really don't want to be exposed to it. And it seems from my next door post that a lot of other people don't want to be exposed to it either. So I don't know if it's something that you can help me with or point me to another direction, but I'm hoping that the board can at least take it under consideration.
And just so we're clear and I understand what you're talking about like regular pesticide applications, right? Like a neighbor calls and they have a mold problem or some type of pest problem, then they're spraying for it. Is that?
I'm not talking about a targeted thing. I'm talking about where they're spraying the grass they gave me a list. There's about 9 different chemicals. And a lot of them are known to, like I said, cause a lot of not only acute but chronic health issues.
Is this your neighbor? I'm-
There's about 30 houses within 500 feet of me that they're spraying, so it's pretty significant. It's not just one or
Is it a
two.
farm? Like I'm just trying to get an understanding of who's spraying and why they're spraying.
Well, the company is Tomlinson Baumberger, and I'm not sure exactly what they're spraying for, but this is not like a targeted thing where they're spraying for bees or stuff like that. They're spraying for, I don't really know, but
So-
like,
Ma'am, just, can we back up and just like get to the start of the issue here? Like, who's asking Tomlinson and Baumberger to spray and why?
I don't know why they're asking, but it's my neighbors. They see I'm under the hypersensitivity list, so they have to give me the address that they're spraying at and what chemicals that they're applying.
Okay, so your neighbor is, so I understand, your neighbor is, it could be, it's not just Tomlinson Baumberger, they could call any pest company, right? They could call Kirkner Brothers or anyone else, right? But they're requesting a pest company come out and spray their property?
Yes, and if you see, that's
Okay.
my house on Stanley. So like they're doing like from Silver Spring down Stony Battery, even on that Whistler. So like there's a whole bunch of houses in that particular area that they're doing, and it's not even being really coordinated where it's happening all at once. It's like they'll do one now and then 2 days later do another one, and then every time, like the one day they sprayed, it was windy, it was raining, and it's causing drift onto my property, and it's causing me health issues, and that's my whole
I'm sorry,
problem with
okay,
it.
I'm sorry to interrupt you one more time. So are we talking one neighbor or multiple neighbors?
Oh,
requesting?
multiple neighbors. That's why I said there's
Okay,
about,
so multiple neighbors are having these pest applications completed?
yes.
Okay.
And are you saying Tomlinson and Baumberger is not providing you adequate notice?
That's not what I'm saying. They're giving me adequate notice, but the chemicals that they're using is actually making me sick. Like I've had to seek medical advice and everything. I've almost had to go to the ER because I can't even enjoy my own yard because of it. Like I'm stuck in my house almost. You know what I mean?
And could you say again, the registry that you're on for this?
It's
Yeah.
called the Pennsylvania Hypersensitivity List. So in order to get on that registry, a doctor has to certify that.
I can speak to it.
Yeah, I think we'll take a look at,
Well, if I could, so based on my research that I did through the Penn State Extension, there is a hypersensitive registry list. She is on it. And what is required is that if they're within 500 feet of her property, they do have to notify her, which it sounds like they are. But there's nothing that says they can't do what they're doing.
Right.
And I then further investigated other municipalities or if there's any other entities that have restrictions. From what I'm seeing is that we cannot create restrictions that are more stringent than the states. So we can't ban pesticides because
Right.
it's a difficult situation to be in, but there's limits to what we can do.
Did anyone else have any questions about this or comments or? I mean, I hate to, pass the buck or point you. I don't even know where to point you, to be honest, ma'am. But I do know this, we don't have the ability to regulate legal chemicals that they're allowed to use. That's not going to fall within our purview. I really think you're going to have to go to the state and federal government for this kind of legislation that you're looking for. You,
Yeah, I mean, just the way the state constitution is written, we're only allowed to do things that the state permits us to do, and that's one of the things we're not allowed to regulate. So that would be more with Department of Environmental Protection and at the state level would be the ones that regulate that. So you probably need to go through your state representative, and that'd probably be your best avenue at this point to have a discussion with them and have discussion with whoever the manager is. They do have specific managers that handle spraying applications at DEP. And that's who you're going to need to talk with.
have you had a face-to-face meeting with Tomlinson and Baumberger?
Not face to face, but I've sent them emails and I've actually sent them letters from my doctors and stuff. So I tried to work it out with them. There was actually other companies that was gonna spray, and then once I told them how sick I get from it, they decided not to spray, or they're looking into safer chemicals. So like I said, I know that there's other towns. I don't know if there's any in Pennsylvania, to be honest, but across the United States. And there's a whole county in Maryland who has outlawed it. I know laws vary from state to state, so I just wanted to, mention it and bring it up.
Yeah, I would recommend that you reach out to your state representative. That's your conduit to talking to somebody at DEP. That would be the conversation you're having with us is really a conversation you need to have with DEP Spraying Management Program.
Okay, thank you.
That'd be set up with your state rep.
All right, thank you.
any other comments from Zoom? Okay. We'll move on to the managers and board group report.
So the Centerville Road project, I think we can call officially done and closed. We did have the dedication ceremony on Monday, which was attended by some of the supervisors. We basically now wait for the bill, which is the 20% of our share of the cost.
If I can, there will still be some minor impacts on the southbound lanes of Centerville while they finish some stormwater sinkhole issues in front of that fish place, that pet place, and Lassa, that section there, but otherwise.
The Route 72 and Lidditz Road temporary signals are up. We're working on closing that contract, so that's essentially done. The Church Street Bridge, we're still waiting for that multimodal grant application to come up with some money for us. Dairy Road, they have mobilized. It's low bar construction. They will be working probably through winter, bring it down to one lane at some point for about 16 weeks. Nodora Park, also fairly complete. We have some minor things that plantings and such that will need to occur in the spring. We will be opening that up if we haven't already.
I believe it's open.
It's open now. Okay, so it's open now to the public. We will have an official opening in the spring when the plantings get done, and Blue Green will work with us on that. There was an appeal filed with a group of neighbors regarding the driveway on Dorsia Drive. That's working through our attorney and their attorney through the court system. Shared use agreement we did. There's really nothing going on in terms of stormwater projects. And of course, the finance group will be meeting or discussing the request for community support as part of the budget process. Includes my report unless there's comments.
Yeah, just a comment on the Knoll Dorwart Park. I mean, when you drive by, it's just striking how, like the playground just looks so inviting in the park. It just really looks impressive. So,
Wait till we green it up.
yeah, I'm very pleased with how that looks.
Good.
All right. Is there any questions, comments on the manager's report? Mr. Brubaker? Okay. Hearing none, we are going to adjourn at 7:42. Thank you.